Vidya Balan is here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. And it isn't just Jaipur. Millions have tuned in to watch this live stream. Can we show us some love before we start talking? Let's hear how loud can this room be? How loud can this room be? Come on, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. Louder.
Thank you so much for that. Love you too. But thank you for having invited me, Barkha. I know we've been trying to work this out for the past couple of years.
I know, and it's so lovely to have you on our platform.
No, really, I'm so happy to be here, and what a warm welcome, and thank you for that. And I have to say that you said I want to request you to give away these awards, but honestly, it's an honor.
Yeah, they're incredible, and you are incredible.
Women. Thank you.
And just seeing all these incredible women together gives me goosebumps. Vidya, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you on our platform. I admire you. I think you have done single-handedly what nobody else has done. You have changed the conversation in the industry. But Vidya, that's a burden to carry. It's a heavy cross to bear. To get to this point where people are actually asking questions about stereotyping, pay parity, how women are represented on screen, the kind of scripts that are written for women, the kind of scripts that are not written for women, it couldn't have been easy to get to this point. Have you felt somewhat lonely, angry, irritated along the way? The Vidya Balan that we see smiling from here to here must have moments of complete, I don't know, irritation, exasperation? Anger.
Because, you know, I think I've always been at the center of my universe. You know, we're two girls, and we've been brought up with every freedom, and I felt like really the sun revolved around me. And now suddenly in films, firstly, when you step out into the world, you begin to realize that that may not necessarily be the case, because at home there was, you know, we weren't told that you can't do this because you're a girl, or you can't, you know, you must come back home at this time. It was because you're a girl, it was only because you had to do your homework. So, you know, I didn't have that context at all. And then, of course, once I stepped into the film industry, I think there was a lot of pressure to be a certain kind of heroine, which I'm not. You know, intrinsically, I don't know who I am still. I'm still discovering that. But I knew that I didn't fit into the mold. And therefore, and people were constantly trying to एक ढांचे में ढालने की कोशिश कर रहे थे.
To put you in a box and put a label on it.
Yeah, you know, like I remember being told that, oh, you know, what a great break in Parineeta. But you came in as a woman. Now people need to see you as a girl. But I was a woman. I was born a woman. And I was 26 when I joined film. So, you know, for me, it's just, it was very frustrating at various levels trying to fit in one. And then when films began to happen like Ishqiya and Pa and, you know, a whole lot of films, No One Killed Jessica, Dirty Picture Kahani. How there was no belief around the fact that a film with a woman in the lead can work. I am just very greedy. You know, I got a great part. I wasn't even thinking of commercial success. I wasn't putting in the money, so it wasn't my problem. Honestly, but it did frustrate me at times. It still does frustrate me because I don't think, you know, I won't say we're not treated as equals. I don't think we see ourselves as equals even as women.
It's here.
It's here because it's deep conditioning, Barkha.
Yeah.
You know, so of course there's pay parity and all that, but the more we value ourselves, that is going to change, and that is changing. But it's still a long way because we're fighting with the demons in ourselves.
And sometimes it's a lifelong fight. You catch yourself doing something that you don't like about yourself.
Yeah, like, you know, on sets before, I used to be the one who would adjust for everything. If the other actor had to leave early, I would be okay with doing my close-ups last. I would be okay with settling for the smaller room or the van which was parked a little away from shoot. You know, these are little things, but they're reflective of something. I genuinely don't have an issue with these things, but because, you know, when I'm in the middle of a film, I'm just fully there. I'm not doing anything else. So for me, it's no big deal. If I've committed to being there for 12 hours, I'm there for 12 hours, whatever the case. But the thing is that it's reflective of something. As it's your scene, I think they just feel that, and not just they, it's also the way I've seen myself, right? I needed to be liked. I needed to please everyone. I needed to overcompensate because I'm successful.
Did you feel defensive about being successful? In the sense, not consciously, but you felt maybe you'll be judged for being too ambitious, too successful. Let's tone it down a bit so I can fit in and be liked.
No, absolutely. And you know, every time an actress says, you know, when we downplay ourselves, no matter how successful we are, I think it is that, right? You don't want to threaten the men. You don't want to threaten the status quo because that's what you've grown up learning. You've grown up
and is
seeing.
that particularly complicated in a professional relationship or in personal relationships as well?
I think everywhere. I think I think it's actually so tough to be successful, but it's that much tougher to receive success.
Yeah.
You know, to actually own it,
yeah.
to live it. Because we're constantly, I think we're everywhere. You know, even with staff, I've struggled with having authority, with exuding power, you know, and because you constantly want to feel like, no, but you know, they should think that I'm
nice.
Yeah. I'm a good woman. That's very important. No matter my accomplishments, finally it boils down to that. So I think it's been frustrating, it's been angering, and you know, we were talking about films at this time, when films are not doing great at the box office, the one to take the beating is the women-led films.
Really?
Yeah, that is because, you know, immediately when I think there's a certain perception that, okay, all said and done, there's a bigger chance that the male-led films will work compared to the women-led films because that is still a new phenomenon. So maybe we don't want to take a chance. But that's frustrating because I think more than any time, it's, you know, more than ever, it's being proved now that it doesn't matter who the hero of your film is. People are only coming in for content and entertainment.
Yeah.
So it really, I think we have to be genre agnostic, format agnostic, gender agnostic. You know, it is really about a story well told. But I think it's frustrating when people are saying, and you know, not with complete respect to the OTT platforms, because I've had 3 releases and received a lot of appreciation for them on OTTs. But now the thing is, you know, we'll be making this film for OTT. Why is there no chance that you'll take that punt and make it for a theatrical release? I think it's just...
But you know, I was interviewing Sharmila Tagore the other day, and she quoted a lot of your movies. You know, she was, and she was speaking a lot about you. And she said, you know, she was talking about herself, and she said, I used to keep getting asked this question: how did Tiger Pataudi allow you to work after marriage? And she said, today it's different. A Vidya Balan will never get asked that. My question to you is, do you still get asked really dumb, misogynistic questions?
Of course.
Share some. Share some.
Firstly, for the longest time, I was getting pregnant every month. So God knows how many children I've birthed. I don't know. And I'm like, you know, for God's sake, they've posted pictures of mine and said, oh, she's looking pregnant. And I'm like, this is my body, dude. I don't know how I look when I'm pregnant, but this is who I am. You know, haven't you now realized that I'm not skinny and I'm not a size 0? And this is, it's just, I think it's the unwillingness to think. The unwillingness to, but you know, soon after my marriage, even now actually, when I do interviews for film promotions, I get asked that, you know, so does Siddharth have a say in what you're choosing? I said, I don't have a say in what he's choosing. He doesn't have a say in what I'm choosing. It's it's as simple as that. And Barkha, I'll tell you, it comes from a very selfish place. Because I value this relationship, but I love what I do. Tomorrow, if he suggested something and it didn't work the way I wanted it to, there will be hell to pay for it.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You know, if there's always an assumption that women will privilege their personal lives over their professional life. That assumption is not made about men.
Yeah, not at all.
But you know, you were talking about this is my body, dude. You didn't always have that comfort. You didn't always have that ease. When you did not, what would you struggle with?
Oh, I think the struggles with my body deserve a book, honestly.
Write it.
Yeah. But I think it's been lifelong, and I came to make peace with it around the dirty picture, but it's still work in progress. You know, I think it would devastate me, it would destroy me, it would shatter me. Every time someone said something, you know, something unflattering or
I mean, they would say it to your face, they would say it behind your back.
Yeah, you know, like for every film, Barkha, since the beginning of my career, I've been asked to lose weight.
Really?
You know, and it was around 6 years ago that when a certain director asked me to lose weight, and I've had a history of hormonal issues, I found it close to impossible to shed weight. And that's also the peace I've had to make, right? I'm a certain body type, I have certain, whatever. My body's needed support in various ways, but today I'm calling it support. Previously I'd be angry with my body. I was angry with my body through most of my life. It's only in the past 5-6 years that I've begun to say that, you know, this is what's keeping me alive. All it deserves is gratitude, and what are you giving it? Anger. But about 6 years ago, when someone spoke to me about my weight, I let the director leave home, and then I called up the producer, and then I said I want to do a joint meeting with the director and you, and they came over home, and I said I'm opting out of the film, because if you wanted a different body, you shouldn't have come to me.
Yeah.
You know, I can, as an actor, I have the faith, and you have to have the faith, that I can do whatever you want convincingly. Doesn't matter the size of body. I can feel my sexiest, I can make you feel whatever I want you to feel.
I love it.
Really, size no bar. And I said I'm opting out of the film because I will not let anyone talk about my body anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm telling you that the moment I stopped letting someone comment on my body, I just felt so free. I just felt like, you know, what is stopping me from feeling like I'm the best version of myself? Just this judgment that I'm not the body that everyone else wants me to be. Because growing up, I thought, oh, so cute, you know, people would say, they would pull my cheeks and I was getting all the attention and I didn't mind it. But soon that became, oh, you're so pretty, why don't you lose some weight? And then, of course, it's carried on forever. And when I stood up for myself, even today when someone says, oh, you've shed weight, or, you know, I always just smile. I don't say thank you.
What is the silliest thing someone has said to you, which they don't even realize is silly?
2 days ago, I was somewhere and this lady walked up to me and said, oh my God, you're skinny.
But you know, you had an Instagram post about a very interesting encounter with a fan. So the fan comes to Vidya and the fan wants a selfie. So she takes the selfie, she gets the selfie, and then she says, can I have another one? And Vidya's team says, Are, mil gaya na, abhi kyun chahiye? She said, it was from my wrong profile. Okay. Now, Vidya, you wrote a very interesting, honest, authentic post of what that interaction with that fan made you realize about yourself. So share that with the audience.
Just that, you know, around the time that I did my first film, I was told that my left profile is beautiful and that there's a certain angle from which I look like a completely different person and that should be avoided at all costs. So after that, I think I was so scared to face the camera from the right side, because I still don't know which angle it is really. It's somewhere 3/4 or something like that. So instead of that, I decided that I'm not going to show my right side at all. For photo shoots, I would insist that the photographer shoot me from the left side. In ad films, I'd manage that. In films, initially, I remember telling Raju Hirani on Lage Raho Munna Bhai that, you know, I just want to tell you, this is what I've been told, so it'll look. He said, don't worry, you're going to look your best. We have a great DOP. And then I remember during PC Sriram, who's God, you know, behind the camera. And I went to him and I said, PC sir, you know, everyone says this is my better profile. I'm just letting you know. He says, rubbish, don't tell me all that. Don't tell me all that, you know. And I was like, okay, God knows how he's going to shoot me, but I think I was shot so beautifully in par that I realized that, oh, you know, there is no real problem. But that was just the beginning. I still thought that, oh, it was only PC Sriram who saw me that way. But slowly I started realizing that, you know, it also comes, all that comes back to around the dirty picture when I began to accept
I was just going to say, you said dirty picture taught you self-love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been, what, more than 11 years now since Dirty Pictures. So that's many years of self-love, so well done. But why did that movie do for you what other movies could not?
Because, you know, on the Dirty Picture, I'm someone who never was sleeveless. I was a fat girl who was always shy, who wanted to be hidden and invisible. And here, I was made to wear, and in the size I was made to flaunt my curves and my love handles and everything brazenly, and it took a lot from me, you know. So I think I realized that I was still feeling very, very sexy when I played Silk, and it had nothing to do with the size of my body. It had everything to do with what I can do with my body. So I think that shift happened, and then, you know, it went on to become a huge success, and people were, I felt my sexiest best at my biggest, or biggest until then. So I think, because there I had the liberty to, flaunt my bigness, and then I was still feeling sexy, so I realized that there's no one way to feel sexy or look sexy. And similarly with my face, you know, I slowly, as I worked with the masters, I started realizing that, you know, every frame, if it's authentic, if it serves its purpose in the story, it's beautiful, including the characters, including the actors in it. So it has nothing to do with, beauty is as beauty does. So as simple as that.
And I have a lot of questions about feeling sexy and sexuality on screen, but since we've spoken so much about self-love, and there's so many, I mean, there are women and men from all age groups, but young girls today, Vidya, especially in the age of Instagram, they constantly feel, even if they're absolutely beautiful, and I think everyone is, a kind of battle with themselves. So I just want to ask the audience, I can't take too many questions because there are too many of you to take questions from, but is there any young person here who has wrestled with body issues and then not liked yourself for it? Because I want you to come up. I want you to come up, and because there is no better person, I think, who has shone the light on how manufactured the idea of beauty can be. What's your name?
My name is Dipali Sharma.
And what issues have you dealt with or wrestled with?
Ma'am, as you can see my face, I have many acne issues, and I've seen dermatologists, and they told me that it is like your puberty, and they will go away when you will grow up. So at some point of time, when of course I'm 18 years now, and at that time I was 15 and 16, and I used to feel like, oh my God, none of my classmates has got such dirty acne, and I was not able to look at my face in the mirror. But I talked to my mom, and she consoled me. She told me that what is inside you matters the most. It is not your face. And I was like, Mummy, please, अंदर कोई नहीं देखता है, सब लोग बाहरी चेहरे को देखते हैं. तो मुझे उस टाइम रियलाइज़ नहीं हुआ था. लेकिन मैंने फिर ऐसे लोगों को देखा जो बहुत ही, मतलब मेरी क्लासमेट्स, जो बहुत ज़्यादा ब्यूटीफुल है. लेकिन जब मैंने उनसे बात की तो मुझे लगा कि अंदर से बिल्कुल खोखली है, कुछ भी नहीं है इसके अंदर. तो मुझे लगा कि आई एम मच बेटर देन दैट, अ हॉलो पर्सन. it is better to be a person who is not that beautiful. It is not, it is better to be a person who is not that beautiful, but to be a person with, I can say, a zeal to live and live like मैं सब कुछ कर सकती हूँ इस एटीट्यूड के साथ जीना ये बहुत important
Firstly, I just want to give you a hug because it takes a lot of courage to come up here and just say what you did.
You made her day.
No, really, this is amazing and more power to you. And can I tell you, you don't have to, you have a beautiful mind and heart, I'm sure about that, but you are beautiful even physically, even your face is beautiful. That's what makes you distinctive. So let's not diminish the way we look because we don't fit into a certain mold. You are beautiful the way you are. I think, and there's only one of you. So you need to celebrate who you are. Because if we don't, no one will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take one more comment. Vartika ma'am here. She's a principal of a leading college.
Wow.
Yeah. Come ma'am. Oh, those are her students. Okay.
Thank you, Barkha. Hi, Vidya.
Hi.
As you just said, love yourself, and if you are not going to love, who else can?
Yes.
So, as we usually hear about you, as you already shared about body and being a chubby girl since my childhood, I always had two questions in front of me. Shed some pounds, and why you have chosen law as a career, because that time it was also a taboo. So I always believed, never give up, whatever people say, and keep on working. दो कान शायद इसीलिए हैं.
And when people would call you chubby, as you said, how did you feel?
I don't want to fit you in that frame. The society wants me to. I am happy being myself. So that's why you inspire me a lot. When people come to me, when, as you recently shared, that when you, you have shed some palm. So that is the biggest, I guess, bad feeling one can have. They are trying to show you, now you are able to fit in the frame. So how you take that?
बड़े लोगों की बड़ी बातें. The next time someone tells you that you're big, say this. You know, because it's something to, we shouldn't feel small in our bigness. This is who we are, and there's so much of us to love and be and shine. I think nowadays when people tell me you've shed weight, and I know their intention is good, but I always smile. I never say thank you because that comes with the assumption that I wanted to shed weight, that I'm not comfortable with who I am. And I may shed weight tomorrow, I may gain weight tomorrow, whatever it is, I'm okay with the way I am. I have, 44 years of experience to show, and this body's gone through a lot, and it's only getting better.
Yeah. So that is what I also wanted to say. I am happy being myself, and that is something I
More
like
power
about
to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have only 10 minutes left, so I know a lot of you have questions, there are too many of you, there are thousands of you in this room, so let me today hog some of the questions, because I've been trying to get Vidya on We the Women for years, and I finally have her. You spoke about sexuality, how feeling sexy or even portraying sexiness on screen has nothing to do with weight, and I agree with you. But how women's sexuality or how the female body is depicted on screen is a very big debate. Let's take up item songs. I've seen a generational divide in the film industry where a Shabana Azmi has one view, younger actors have another view. How do you look at sexuality? Is it still through very much a man's camera, a man's gaze?
I don't know, but I will say this, that when a woman looks sexy on screen, I always appreciate it. Yes, the gaze is important. When you're objectifying her, I do find that, not in good taste. I can't deny it. But there are times when a woman is looking sexy on screen and it's absolutely fine. I think it is her prerogative to do what she wants to do. And I think even as liberals, so-called liberals, we need to realize that everyone has a right to their freedom of expression. So you know, this may sound a bit problematic, but I think I really believe in live and let live. Of course, everyone has their reasons for what they do. It's not always to do what they're comfortable doing. But I do think that when, for example, when you see Malaika Arora, I think she's so body comfortable. She wears, you know, the great clothes. She looks sexy all the time. And I think it's so fantastic. You know, but obviously we're not talking about depiction of women in the songs and things like that. But I definitely think there's a change in the male gaze. Even the men are trying to alter their gaze.
And also men today are getting objectified. There's also a whole emphasis on the male form, which is new for our time.
Like there is, I don't know how many of you have seen this show called White Lotus. And it says nudity at the beginning of it. And then you see only men whose butts are being seen, and there's no nudity of women, and I'm like, wow. That's the first. But so yes, the gaze is changing for the better, but you know, it can't be black and white, Barkha. So every time a woman is sexy on screen, it cannot be a problem.
No, I'm just saying it's
complicated.
No,
I'm not saying you...
I just wonder, you know, because at one level there's so much assertion of autonomy. On the other hand, there's so many young girls who say, I want to look like that, and you don't want that to be the only thing young girls aspire to.
Yeah, but you know, there's a lot that young girls shouldn't aspire to. This,
for example?
This idea of perfection.
Yeah.
It's pointless. It doesn't exist. You know, nothing is perfect in the world. Even the earth is not perfect. So I really think that once we shed the need for, I think social media puts a lot of pressure on all of us, that much more on younger kids, and I believe that much more on young girls. I was reading an article that said that it's impacting Instagram. Posts are impacting younger girls more, and there's more depression.
And there are all those filters, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to look like themselves.
Yeah, exactly. When I see some people and I see that they have a different skin color in the pictures, I just want to say, why? You know, why? You're beautiful the way you are. Yeah. And I'm not just saying this. I find beauty in everyone, Barkha. Because
Yeah, sorry. Are they roles of films that you may have taken or accepted 10, 15 years ago, thank you, that you would not today? Is there a role or a song or a, you know, do you pay more attention? We all change, we all evolve.
Yeah, but not really. I think every one of my films, every one of my roles has contributed to who I am today and how I feel today. I think every one of them played a role in me discovering who I am, not just as an actor, but as an individual. So I don't think I would do anything differently.
We have 5 minutes left, and we do want to honor you with our appreciation of everything you've been. So if we can get Vidya's award ready, but hang on, I'm not done yet.
Thank you.
I'm not done yet.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit, many of the people here are students, they're college-going kids. You studied sociology at Xavier's. You were one of these kids.
Yes, absolutely.
What would you have been if you hadn't been an actor?
I wouldn't have been.
You always...
I've always, since
what
the age?
In
1987, that makes me 8 years old, when I watched Madhuri in Ek Do Teen. That was the beginning of my obsession with Madhuri and with films. But with being an actor, actually. And I think it's remained unchanged. But you know what sociology did? I think going to school and college is so important, because that experience cannot be replicated. I remember at one point, you know, I was getting a lot of work on television, and my parents said, no, you're going to complete college. I said, I'll do it through correspondence. And they said, no, because you can work for the rest of your life, but you can't go back to college at any point in life. And this is an experience. It's not just what you're taught in classrooms, right? It's the experience of college life. And I'm so grateful they, of course, it came from, you know, the South Indian mentality.
Which is what?
Which is education above everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but I think what I realize is that sociology also has helped me as an actor, because it allows you to see the possibility in possibilities. or you know, am I saying this correctly? To explore the possibility of possibilities.
Yeah.
To realize that there is a world beyond me, beyond my world, where, you know, what I believe in or the way I see things may not hold, but it doesn't make it any less. I think that sort of empathy, understanding I developed even more.
Yeah.
Because of sociology and because
and it is a sort of a training ground for how to look at the world and how to look at yourself.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And tell me this, how do you keep yourself real in a vanity industry? You know, when we put out your creative and we said Vidya Balan is coming to the festival, the first word I used after pioneer and change maker was authentic.
Thank you.
Right? You're real. How do you keep yourself real? How do you remain real in this fishbowl?
I don't know. I think I love being by myself a lot. I spend a lot of time by myself. I am a loner of sorts, you know. I'm not very social. So it's just my family and me.
Yeah.
So I think, and in my family, again, it's like, oh, you're doing great outside and we're very proud of you. But at home, you are Vidya.
Yeah.
You're not, like a lot of people say, you're not Vidya Balan. You know, so I think that grounding makes all the difference. Where also I know that irrespective of whether my films succeed or don't succeed or whatever happens, or my Instagram following, my family is always there for me. You know, that I think is so priceless, Barkha, to just know that there are a bunch of people, that the people you were born to, you know, my sibling and now Siddharth, they all just see me for who I am. Acting is my profession, it's my job. It's not me.
Yeah.
I think that they've managed to.
Finally, what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
That you are worthy of love. That doesn't matter what size you are worthy of love. There is just one of you in the world. And you have the choice to be the best or worst version of yourself. So you choose.
Thank you, Vidya.
Thank you.
We have deep admiration for you, and we need you on stage for a couple of more minutes. Can we get the award out? May I please request Gautam? Where is Gautam? There he is. Gautam Shetty from Maersk.
Hi.
Maersk is one of the big partners of We the Women. Gautam came up on stage earlier today. You were at Dr. Nozer Sheriar's book launch.
Yes.
Nozer was here. And we said, is there any man here who's willing to step up on stage and talk about menstruation and menopause and have that conversation? He was the only one who came up. But first things first, we would like to present our award, Hope Empower Rise, to Vidya Balan, for being a woman of impact in 2023. Big round of applause. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, sure. First, it's an honor to give you this
How
award.
sweet, thank you.
But we're not going to let you go so easily, right? So there's a very relevant phrase that especially very relevant to today. It says, diversity is like being invited to a party, and inclusion is being asked to dance. So we'll be totally non-inclusive if you don't make you dance here today.
Oh my God, are you going to make me dance?
Yeah.
But before that, can I just say that, you know, I have forever admired Barkha, and it's so amazing to see her go from strength to strength. And thank you. Thank you for just who you are. You are a beacon for so many girls all over the country and beyond. More power to you.
Thank you.
And she's a big mentor of mine, and she's taught me how to seize the moment, so we will do that right now.
Thank you so much, Vidya, though that's very, very kind of you. I don't know if Gautam's going to actually succeed at this. Do we have a track? Yes, no, maybe?
I know what they'll play. What do you think they're going to play?
I don't know. I have no idea. This was not part of my plan.
Exactly.
Huh? Which one?
11 साल से उसी पे मैं ठुमका लगा रही हूँ.
I think we let her go, no? Because I don't know if we can find the track.
Don't worry. I'll just say
Copyright, chalo, Mario Goli, copyright. They say copyright issues, as in just play. If you can find it quickly. But Vidya, while we still have you here, you know, I want you to talk a little bit about, you know, you've said love yourself, there's only one of you, all of that. But when you don't feel so good about yourself, how do you get yourself out from that moment?
I live with it, Barkha. I don't fight it. I've also been speaking to a healer for the past 12 years now.
A healer? Talk
Yes.
a bit about that.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like therapy where I speak to her from wherever I am in the world. So it's not necessarily, we use various tools like EFT and NLP and, you know, neuro-linguistic programming and various other things. But I think it helps you change the way you're thinking. But importantly, I've learned not to deny the way I'm feeling. So to live with it and to know that it will pass.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, you know, every night is followed by a day, but to not fight it, to honor whatever you're feeling.
And also to own your vulnerability.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's okay not to feel great every single day, you know.
And thank you for sharing that. And I'm being told by my director that the only track they found, I promise this was not part of the script, is Ooh La La. So Gautam, this was not my plan. This is Gautam's plan.
But Gautam and Barkha have to dance with me.
I have no dancing skills, but let's have the track. If you're ready. Okay, play it. Me nahi, Gautam and Vidya. I know how to do many things, but this I don't know how to do. You're a good sport. Isn't she the best? Gautam, we have to credit you or not credit you. That was not my idea.
Barkha is like, what's happening to we the women?
Let's give it up for Vidya Balan. We admire you. We love you.
Thank you. Thank you.